Hello and welcome to today's reading vlog where I will be reading new releases. I do have a TBR that I am potentially neglecting, but at the same time I've had these fall releases on my radar, so I knew they were coming out this week and now they're all here and I want to read them. So the three that I'm going to focus on in today's video are We Love You Bunny, Alchemised, and To Clutch a Razor. First one that I'll be reading is actually a sequel to Bunny, and that is We Love You Bunny. And this is kind of a weird one where it's a sequel slash a prequel, and I don't really know where it's going to go. I've read like a couple pages only, so I'm going to update you as I kind of read along. But Bunny, our first novel, follows our main character Samantha as she goes to this school. I think it's Warren University, and she's part of the writing college, she is a graduate fiction writing cohort. And she gets infatuated with these women that call themselves the Bunnies. Host this kind of smut salon where they invite Samantha to come join. I thought this was a fun read. It's such a girly pop book. That's the best way I can describe it, with it having that kind of element in horror and creepiness. And basically, We Love You Bunny is the sequel where all the bunnies get together again with our main character Samantha years after the events of the first book. And I think we hear the bunnies' story of how they came to be bunnies. So in a sense, it's like a sequel because it happens after the events of the first one, but it's also a prequel because you're going back in time. As always, I will keep this reading vlog spoiler free. So even if this is a sequel, I'll kind of be talking about my generic thoughts about this one and with any other book in this vlog. But yeah, so the first one we're gonna read is We Love You Bunny. I gotta skip the line loan of the audiobook at my library, which means I have 7 days to listen to that, but I also have the audiobook. So I think it'll go by fairly quickly because I am excited for this one. Like a bunny because I also read this book last month. So I am cat sitting now, apologies. I wanted to give you an update on We Love You Bunny. So I'm about 30% in, and right now it goes through, oh thank you so much, oh thank you. It goes through the bunnies and their perspective of what happened in the first book and how things kind of shook out, and basically it's a prequel. I love the bunnies as characters. I think they're so fascinating. They're so just funny to listen to. The audiobook narration of them is just so great. And at the 30% mark, going into part 2, you like meet a new character. I'm kind of interested in how this completely new character is gonna look and what they're gonna do and add to the story. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick update on this one, and I'll continue reading now. Oh my gosh. Yes? Hello? I will update you later on. We're gonna read. We're gonna cuddle and we're gonna read.
here. Girl, relax, please. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Now you're sentenced to sit lower.
Hopeful that I could get some better lighting here, and apologies if you're somewhat crooked. I finished We Love You Bunny. Kind of a disappointing sequel. I struggled with the new point of view that was added randomly in this book. A lot of the mystery of the first book was just like over explained, where like it took away the charm of what Bunny was. So I feel like it took away from Bunny. I feel like it was an unnecessary sequel. I think maybe people that were huge fans of the first book are going to be excited by this one, but to me it just did too much. Like it over explained too much and it took away from the joy of Bunny. So honestly I gave it like 1 star. I struggled with Mono's writing a little bit, and why? It had potential and then it kind of fell. So that was We Love You Bunny, kind of a flop as a new release. So hopefully I save you your money and your time from reading it. And the next one I think I'm going to attempt, because I've got quite a bit of time, is to Clutch a Razor. This is a sequel to Veronica Roth's first book, which is When Among the Crows. This is a novella that is set in Chicago. It is a Polish folklore one, and it follows 3 kind of main characters. You get introductions to them in the first book, and you follow them through kind of different storylines, and then it all comes together. Like I said, it's a novella, so it's fairly short and easy to read. And the second one just came out, hence, I mean, it's a new release. So I'm excited to dive into that one. I think it'll be a quick read for the afternoon, and I'll update you probably after. I don't think there's going to be too many updates like as I'm reading it, because it's a short one. So yeah, that's the next read. Like I haven't left, but I swear I have, and I've been reading. But I finished what did I finish? To Clutch a Razor by Veronica Roth. This is such a quick read. I read it in a single day, kind of a sitting, but I was also doing errands, so I was listening to the audiobook a little bit. But I settled, I think, on like 3 stars for this one. It was definitely less favorable than the first one in the series. I think the story continues well enough and at like a fairly fast pace. It is a novella, so she doesn't have many pages to work with, but the thing that I struggled most with is the romance. I think the romance is not good or well done, and I thought mistakenly that this was a duology, which is not her fault because it just didn't say it anywhere. I just assumed. So I think given the fact that she had more of these novellas to write, she could have spaced the romance out a little bit better. Like I feel like it was just like so fast in the first book, and then in the second one, like it kind of continues, but they're already like super infatuated with each other. They're so in love with each other to the point where I'm just kind of like, I don't really care about the romance. I care more so about the story, and I feel like even the climax of the second book wasn't that good. Like, it was leading to somewhere where I was super excited, and then it kind of like had a cop out where like the story shifted and now they're kind of on a different quest. So I feel like it didn't make sense that she set this up in the beginning of the story only to switch it like 3/4 of the way through, and now there's just like a whole new kind of adventure that they're going on. So I don't know when the third book is slated to come out. I wonder if she's like publishing them every single year, but I'm glad that at least I'm caught up with that one, and it's kind of like a short urban fantasy novella to come to whenever it does publish or come out. But that brings us to the last book in this video, and that's none other than Alchemised. I feel like everyone's been talking about it. I was late to the bandwagon with Manacled. I feel like I just read it 2 or 3 years ago. But I mean, granted, it was published like a while ago. And while I was reading it, I think there were rumors about it being traditionally published, or maybe not even then. Or with Manacled, I actually didn't love it as much as everyone else. I think I gave it like 3 stars or so. And so Alchemized obviously is like the exact same story, but like written in a different perspective. Obviously she changed a lot of the names for copyright purposes. And yeah, I'm excited to feel something again. I feel like it's been a while since I read a really good romantasy that has good yearning, that has good enemies to lovers, and like really pulls at the heartstrings. It's 1,000 pages long. So it might take me a hot minute to read this one, but I am like focused in. I've got the audiobook, I've got the ebook, like I am so ready to finish, like be caught up on my new releases with Alchemized. So yeah, let's embark on this journey together. I'm 27% through Alchemized. So part 2, here I am. Part 1, I think reading it again after like reading Manacled and knowing everything that happens definitely has an effect on you. Like I know a lot of people are going around saying like, oh, once you finish part 2, go back and read part 1 again. Or maybe just the prologue, I don't know. But I read through part 1 super fast because I was ready to get to part 2 where the flashbacks occur. I feel like part 1 definitely is very confusing. Like the magic system that she changed the world to makes very little sense to me. I had to ask Bestie for some help on how to like kind of compare it to Manacled, which kind of helped, but at the same time I feel like there's still a lot of different magical like systems going on where I'm a bit confused on like who's doing what and who's actually really bad, if that makes sense. So that's confusing. I think it was still very similar to the first book, although she did change it where like the main plot point of like what goes on towards the end of part 1 kind of happens a little later. Like you don't really know it from the very beginning. So I'm curious like for those that I've never read Manacled, like how shocking that was in a sense, because in Manacled it's like very clear from like the first page like what's going on. I love the scene with his wife and then him coming. Oh my god, it's just so good. It's just so good. I will say I just love how mean he is. I don't know, it makes me a little toxic, but I love it. It is just entertaining. It is exactly what I wanted. I am so ready for part 2 to begin, where we have all the flashbacks and really like the central part of the story is. So I'm gonna dive into that, and I'm just gonna continue reading as fast as I can. It says, let's see, how much does it say I have left in the book now? 8 hours, 36 minutes. Could I do it today? I don't know. We'll see. I am sat. I'm reading. I'm just gonna wait for my hair to air dry a bit before styling it. But yeah, let's go. 4 years prior, the flashback chapters. I'm ready for it. How am I supposed to read? She's meeting him for the first time. I'm not ready for this. I know what's about to happen and I'm not ready for this. Oh my gosh. Are you ready for this? No, I didn't think so. Apologies for my appearance. I'm gonna be doing my hair as I listen. So I am almost 40%, 36% through the audiobook. So let's read and get beautified. Good progress in Manacled, so I want to give you all an update. My gosh, he's just so obsessed with her. I like feel like it is enemies to lovers in a sense, because he does, like, they do hate each other quite a bit, but at the same time, like, he's so lustful for her and obsessed with her, where I'm just like, give me some more yearning. And I feel like this is what I struggled with the first book, is that, like, I'm still questioning, like, why they're involved in a sense. And I feel like Helena gets on my nerves quite a bit. Sorry. I just don't like her infatuation with Luke and the kind of good cause. But I know that's the plot of the story. I know. But I'm making my way through it. I've got, like, I'm about 50-ish% through. I'm just gonna sit down, focus in. It says I've got like 4 hours, like 5 hours, let's be honest, 5 hours left reading. it on Kindle. So what else can I say that's not spoiler free? I definitely love the flashback chapters. I love their interactions. I feel like it just hit a little bit better with Manacled, and I don't know again if it's the fact that I understand the magic system a lot more in Manacled than I do in this one. So maybe that's like what the struggle is, but anyway, I am going to just hone in, continue reading, and I'll just update you when I update you. I'm not gonna like say who said it, but just this quote. I'm sure there's something poetic in it all, but right now all I feel is a new set of manacles. It's just the original title made so much sense. I wish you could have kept it. Cause that like, that hit the spot. I'm at the part of like the big battle of things going on, and I think it's like chapter 50 or 49 or something like that. And I remember how it felt reading it in Manacled. Again, I just feel like it doesn't hit the same, and it's so hard to explain if you like haven't read that one. And even though it's been years, I'm still like, I feel like I'm doing a reread, but like something changed where it's not hitting the same. Which is such a shame. I mean, I'm still gonna eat it up probably because I like haven't read something this good in a while, but I wish it was as good. She pissing me off. Is the door always come back to you? Me too, girl, me too. I have a sleeping cat on me, so apologies if I can't move much, but I wanted to give an update on Alchemised. I'm like 89% through. I have an hour and 12 minutes. So I'm on part 3 now. I finished part 2. I forget how much she annoys me. Like, all of her actions towards the end of part 2 could have been so easily avoided. I don't think she owes these people or this like movement, Eternal Flame, anything. And for her to go so much out of her way to try to do that, and then I know towards the end, like, she was doing something not for them, but for him. And I'm still like, girl, you could have just left. Y'all should have just left from fucking like the middle of the book. You should have just left. It would have saved me so many pages. So, I'm just getting annoyed. I feel like I don't really like her as a character. I don't think I liked her as a character in Manacled anyway. So it's so much harder to read about her now where I still don't like her. But yeah, I'm on part 3 now, and I feel like it's really starting to drag. So I'm kind of ready for it to be over. I know I'm not gonna cry. I think I teared up during Manacled just because it was like the first time reading it and I didn't know what was going on, but I'm just like not invested. I'm just annoyed. And I want it to be over. So yeah, I've got an hour-ish left, 90% through. So I'm gonna keep reading to get to the end, please. finished Alchemized. And if you can't tell by my tone, my lack of tears, my lack of any emotion, I was so over it by like the last 30-40%. I just like, I have a lot of thoughts about this, so I'm gonna try to be as coherent as I can and then try to figure out what rating I'm gonna settle on. But I think what I struggled most with is because Manacled had such like a world and history already built with it. Oh, it's very rude for an ad to show up. Let me wait till that's over. Okay, we're back. We're back with the ambiance. I think Manacled, because it had such a world already built out, the author didn't really have to rely on like world building or character building or like relationship building, because you like knew what everyone's relation was and like the significance of what was going on and like how things kind of played out. And I feel like translating that into its own separate standalone work was not done well, because I honestly couldn't care for any of the other characters. Even seeing Helena's relationship to Luke and Lila, you barely feel like they know each other. And even to an extent, her relationship with Kane, you hear that they were like academic rivals and they have history, and she has history with so many people, but like it's just told to us. Like I didn't fully believe it. So like reading the book and everything that she was doing for the Eternal Flame, I was just annoyed because I didn't care, and I feel like that relationship wasn't fleshed out in this world, if that makes sense. And to that extent as well, way too many characters. I feel like the list of characters should have been a lot shorter. And the book honestly should have been a lot shorter. I don't know why it's so long. And you always like see glimpses of these characters and like I'm supposed to care. Ivy and someone, her sister, I don't even remember her name. I could not care less about them, and they came back again. And again, I could not care less about them. I knew who Luke was. I knew who Lila was. I knew who the doctor was. What was her name? Stod? Was that her name? Am I making that up? Anyway, like maybe like 5 or 6 additional characters. Like there were way too many, to the point where I didn't know what side they were on. I didn't know what their relation was. It was just too confusing. And then finally, the world building was just so poorly done. In my opinion, I feel like the magic system could have been so intriguing and like well done had it not just like been so convoluted and like had so many random exceptions of like, well, she could do this, and then actually she can redo her mind, and she can also do this to other people, and then you also have people with no souls, and then these souls, like it was just so confusing. And I know a lot of people said like, oh well, that's like a high fantasy, like you just haven't read high fantasy before and you're probably not used to it. And it's like, no, I have. Like Mistborn had the same thing where they had like more alchemized sort of magic system, and I got that. I clocked that in my head. This was just so bad. And I like didn't understand. I like didn't care. So like you zone out for like the first 30%. And then even in like the flashback scenes, it's like kind of explained a little bit more, but I just feel like it would have been so helpful to have maybe some glimpse of them in school and like studying together, so you could really, again, understand the relationships and the magic system a little bit more, and the kind of society of like what was going on, and why maybe she was more ostracized, or why Vivimancy wasn't as like highly regarded as like other magic. So it's just like overall to say that I was just so annoyed with this. And like, yes, the romance was like pretty like grasping. Like I just love a man that is obsessed with a woman. And he's absolutely infatuated with her. But I feel like to that extent, like I just didn't see her side of things. I don't know. And I feel like I struggled with this with Manacled as well, where like I didn't eat it up. It didn't like completely shatter me inside with the ending. I was just kind of like, okay. So all that to say, I feel like I want to give this either like a 2 or 2.5 stars, which is really harsh. I know, but it's my opinion. And I'm allowed to have it. So, and you're watching it for my opinion. So yeah, that was Alchemist. I feel like kind of a flop. I mean, granted, reading 1,000 pages is not easy. So I'm glad I got that to my page count. I feel like the fanfic to book pipeline that's going on right now is just not for me. I'd rather just read the original, the source, even though it's, you know, sampled from another source. I don't care. At that point, I feel like it's just so much better done because another author already built the world out a lot better. I'm a fanfic author in a standalone. I said it. It's fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little reading vlog going through some new releases. They were honestly mostly all flops, which is kind of painful. But you know what? They're out of the way. I'm caught up. I'm ready for the next set of books that are coming out. I am in full October mood and ambiance, so getting down to reading some more spooky atmospheric reads. And yeah, stay tuned for some other upcoming videos. Bye for now.